Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit and the Rainy Day Parade. Rain poured over Pinecone Forest, drumming on the rooftops and splashing through puddles. Benny Bear peered out the window with a sigh. There goes our picnic. Ruby Rabbit, holding her yellow umbrella, smiled. Who says rain has to spoil the fun? Let's make our own parade. Benny blinked. A parade in the rain? Exactly, Ruby said. Grab your boots. Preparing the parade. Soon Benny and Ruby were outside, stomping through puddles. Benny wore his big red raincoat, and Ruby twirled her umbrella like a baton. Every parade needs music, Ruby said. She found 2 sticks and began tapping a rhythm on a tin bucket. Benny joined in, humming a deep bear tune that echoed through the forest. Squirrel, fox, and hedgehog poked their heads from their burrows. What's going on? It's the Rainy Day Parade, Ruby called. Come join us. The march begins. Soon the forest path filled with cheerful animals. Hedgehog jingled tiny bells, Squirrel carried a leafy flag, and Benny marched proudly in front, drumming on an upside-down pot. They splashed and laughed their way down the trail as raindrops danced all around them. Even the shy deer peeked out from behind the trees to watch. Ruby twirled and giggled. Best parade ever! Benny agreed. No sunshine needed just friends and a beat. After the rain, when the storm finally passed, a bright rainbow stretched across the sky. The friends cheered and waved their parade flags. Ruby smiled. See, Benny? Rainy days can shine too. Benny chuckled. Especially when you're around, Ruby. And under the rainbow, the Rainy Day Parade marched proudly home. Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit and the lemonade stand. The summer sun shone bright over Pinecone Forest. Benny Bear wiped his brow. Phew, it's too hot to move. Ruby Rabbit hopped up with a grin. Then let's make something cool lemonade. Benny's ears perked up. Lemonade? With honey? Of course, Ruby laughed. Honey makes everything better. Setting up shop, they set a little table outside Benny's cabin, covering it with a yellow cloth. Ruby squeezed lemons while Benny stirred in honey and water. Soon a sweet citrusy smell filled the air. Ruby made a sign that read, Ruby Benny's lemonade, 1 smile per cup. Squirrel scampered by first. A smile for lemonade, that's easy, he said, grinning wide. Next came Hedgehog, Daisy Deer, and even Owl, each trading a smile and sometimes a giggle for a cool cup. A sticky situation. But when Benny reached for more honey, he accidentally tipped the whole jar into the jug. Ruby gasped. Benny, that's too much. The lemonade turned thick and sticky. They both tasted it and burst out laughing. It's like drinking sunshine syrup, Ruby giggled. Too sweet even for me, Benny said, licking his paw. Making it right. They quickly squeezed more lemons and stirred again. Soon the balance was perfect, sweet, tangy, and refreshing. By afternoon, they'd served every friend in the forest. When the last cup was gone, Ruby stretched and smiled. A day well spent. Benny nodded. And no one left thirsty, not even me. They clinked their cups together and sipped the last of the lemonade beneath the golden summer sun. Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit. Go to the beach. The morning was bright and breezy when Benny Bear and Ruby Rabbit hopped off the bus at Sandy Shore Beach. Smell that sea air, Ruby said, twitching her nose. Benny took a deep sniff. Smells like salt and adventure. They spread out a blanket, unpacked their snacks, and gazed at the sparkling blue waves. Fun in the sun. Ruby raced to the water, splashing her paws. Come on, Benny. Benny hesitated. The waves look big. But Ruby giggled and tossed water his way. They're friendly waves. Laughing, Benny waded in, splashing back until both were soaked. After their swim, they built the biggest sandcastle on the beach, complete with shell windows and a moat. Benny stood back proudly. Fit for a bear king and a rabbit queen. Ruby nodded. Now we just need a flag. She stuck her scarf on a stick and planted it on top. Perfect. A windy surprise. Just then, a gust of wind whooshed across the beach, sending their flag flying into the air. After it, Ruby shouted. They chased the fluttering scarf down the sand until it landed right beside an ice cream cart. Benny's eyes widened. Looks like fate wants us to celebrate. 2 cones later, honey swirl for Benny and carrot cream for Ruby, they sat watching the sunset. Homeward bound. As the sky turned orange and pink, Ruby sighed happily. Best beach day ever. Benny nodded. And no sunburn, no jellyfish, and plenty of ice cream. They packed up their things and waved to the sea. Goodbye, Sandy Shore. We'll be back soon.